Boy, oh boy, have I been on the struggle bus about what to talk about in this episode, and I have decided that we're going to revisit a concept that we talked about in an earlier podcast episode. Today is all going to be about your happy list.
You're listening to the Wellness Simplified podcast. Simple wellness tips to help you improve your life without turning it upside down. With your host, award-winning fitness instructor, nutrition coach, and wellness expert, Suzi Fevens.
Welcome back. We are here, the last Friday in May, ready for another podcast episode. And yeah, I have been struggling for hours about what to talk about today. Honestly, I have not been in my business mind these last couple of months. I have been teaching classes and trying to be useful, but I haven't had my business hat on, and it's feeling a little bit rusty. And usually I come up with ideas for my podcast as I'm going through some business things, and that just hasn't been happening recently, so I am a bit at a loss. But I decided, after having a bit of a struggling afternoon, not just with the podcast but with life in general, that today's episode really should be about the happy list. So we talked about our happy list in a previous episode back in 2019, and I thought now is really a good time to revisit that idea, because a lot of us have a few things that we like to do to make ourselves happy, and a lot of people find that going to the gym, going shopping, going to the spa, doing things like that were items on their happy list that they could always depend on when they needed a bit of a pick-me-up. But guess what? We haven't been able to do any of those things for the last few months. So I thought it was really important for us to take some time to consider right now things that we can have on our happy list that are going to help us get through. Because sadly, we're not out of the woods yet. Things are not going back to quote unquote normal for a while. And it's important that we have some things that we can draw on that will make us feel happy days when we are maybe not feeling so happy. So today I decided to just cancel the remainder of my in-person classes. I've had them suspended for a few months, and I've decided just to cancel them and figured out what every client's credit was, and they can either use that credit towards future in-person classes or transfer them for some virtual classes, whatever they want. But instead of feeling like I'm in this space of limbo where I'm just waiting for the okay to go back to in-person classes, I'm just closing it fully down until I feel that it's safe to go back. And that's probably not going to be for a while. I know one of the places that I teach from is keeping the establishment closed until the end of August. So I have a feeling that it's going to be fall before I get to teach in-person classes, aside from maybe some outside ones. Anyway, I was feeling a little bit down about that. I mean, I'm happy that I get to exercise that caution, but let's not forget the fact that fitness classes are the majority of my income. The other large part of my income came from nutrition coaching, and I quit that job in March. Long story short, they wanted me to work for free, and if I'm going to work for free, folks, I'm going to work for myself for free. So most of my weekly income has gone right out the window. So, knowing that it's not really going to come back in the way that it used to be until fall is kind of a hard pill to swallow. Yes, the government has been helping, but it's only for a few months, and those months are going to be up before September. So anyway, I'm feeling a little bit down. I've got some ideas. I got some things in the works. I'm not panicked. I'm very fortunate about my situation. However, it still was a bit of a downer. So one of the things I did this afternoon was enjoyed an iced latte from my Nespresso machine, and my Nespresso is definitely an item on my happy list. I'm so glad that I got that as my Christmas present to myself, with all of the money that I got for Christmas and my birthday, and some of my own money as well thrown in there. But it has provided me with a lot of happy moments these last few months. I like to go out and get a latte. I miss going to the Half Acre Cafe after my classes, but that's just not been an option. But being able to make a nice drink at home really has been something that I look forward to and appreciate so much more now than I did before. And that's what really got me thinking that we should revisit this happy list, because some of the things on my happy list I've definitely not been able to do. I have still been teaching my classes. and Zumba especially, still gives me a lot of happiness, but it is not the same when you're in a room by yourself, making faces and acting like a fool to a camera. You know that there's the people on the other side of it, but you don't get to see them. So that's been a little bit of a change, and ironically, it takes more out of me to teach a virtual fitness class than it takes to teach an in-person one, because you're really trying to project energy further. Anyway, going to the osteopath is something else that I really enjoy. I haven't been there since February. I'm not that big on getting my hair done. I do enjoy it when I'm there, but I'm not missing that so much. I do my own manicures and stuff, so all that's cool. But yeah, I miss the big thing I miss is being able to be in a car with my best friends and going somewhere. I don't even need to go to a store. I would just like to carpool. So that would be one of the things on my normal happy list that I haven't been able to do. Anyway, it really got me thinking that we need to take some time right now and figure out what are some things on your happy list that you can still do and enjoy. So for me now, I am able to go paddleboarding. I haven't been yet this season, but our boat launches and whatnot are open, so technically I can, which I am very happy and thankful about. I'm going for walks, having my latte, my iced latte, whatever, reading, painting, being artistic. These are all things that are generally on my happy list, although that last paint by numbers I did was not on my happy list. That was on the get it out of my face happy list, but it is done now, thankfully, so I don't have to worry about it. But what I really want you to do is sit down and come up with some small, simple things that you can do with your resources that you have right now to cultivate those moments of happiness, because we really need them now more than ever. Finding those little flashes of delight to improve your day, even when you're having a crummy day, is just so important. So please, this weekend, this afternoon, sometime in the next few days, sit down and really take an itinerary of things that bring you joy, things that you can do with the resources you have and the availability we have in our environments right now, and start to figure out how you can add more of them into your everyday. We just really want to try and cultivate some joy and some happiness in each day, especially right now when things can be a little bit more challenging than maybe they usually are. So really, truly, take a few minutes, open up a note in your phone, put it in your journal, your notebook, whatever, wherever. Just list some things that you can do, things that easily are added to your daily schedule that just give you that moment of like that whole body sigh when you do them, and just make you feel a little bit calmer, get that serotonin going, make you feel a little bit happier. So that is it for today's episode, because I want you to go create your happy list. If you already have a happy list, maybe it needs to have some revisions or additions, but definitely do that. And I would love for you to share with me what is on your happy list. You can find me on Twitter or Instagram at Suzi Confesses, Suzi Confesses, or facebook.com/confessions of a fitness instructor. And you can always tag the podcast on Instagram. It's at the Wellness Simplified Podcast. And I will talk to you next week. Have a good weekend, everybody.